Hello, and welcome back to the Homeschool Well Podcast.
Yay!
It's been a long summer. We've missed you all. It is August 27th of 2025 today, and we are officially back.
Yes, we are back, baby.
We've had a crazy schedule this summer. This is Kim, but speaking that I have done about a zillion tests and portfolio reviews. No, it hasn't been a zillion, but I probably said a zillion words to kids and their
Yes,
parents.
yes.
But anyway, if you need testing and evaluations from us, we are so blessed by it. We love it. I love getting to know all these families, and we just encourage you to make those appointments early because
Yes.
because we did like sell out. It was so sad. I had to like say, sorry, we don't have enough time slots.
Right.
All right. So that was my summer. We hope you
Right.
guys had a fantastic summer.
Yes.
And this is our little welcome back episode. Jenny's going to tell us a little bit about her summer. And then we're going to end with some advice, some wisdom from the Lord that we have been speaking in, not only to the moms that we've been meeting when we've been testing and evaluating, but in our membership. We've still been meeting all summer long, once a week. We have a few golden nuggets to share with you at the end, but I am just so, what's the word? I'm awed by my superhero friend Jenny Barr
Oh,
and what she
sure.
has done. Oh my gosh, you guys!
So, yeah.
I just want to
Okay.
say what she has gone through since the month of when was it?
May.
April, May is really unbelievable. And it's such a praise of God and his miracle and healing and timing, right? And if you guys listened to that episode where she was like, we're just taking a little break this summer. I have a teeny little medical thing. I was listening to that. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jenny Barr, this is the understatement of the actual year, a decade, perhaps century. I don't know. But when you listen to her story, you guys, I'm going to imagine you clapping for her and being in awe and maybe crying. And I might cry. But she has been through some stuff and it just came out of nowhere. So I'm going to shut up and listen and mute my mic and let her talk and get my tissues. And I encourage you to do the same. So I'm sure you'll be understatementing it. But Jenny, I want you to be real. Okay.
Okay.
This was a
Well,
big,
and I don't,
huge deal.
yeah, and I don't want you to mute your mic because I want you to maybe say stuff that I'm
Okay. If
forgetting.
I start like
Okay.
crying, like ugly cry, then I'm going to mute the mic.
Okay.
We're on video. We can see each other, but
I
no
know.
one's going to. Okay. I don't need to be boo in the background.
I know.
And I know most of it, but I'm sure you're going to say some things I don't really know. So anyway, I'm
Okay.
really excited to hear the whole story, and I'm just ready, set. Tell us what you did this summer, Jenny
Okay.
Barr.
What did I do? So while Kim was working her knuckles to the bone, trying to keep up with our business, and we had decided we cannot do the podcast over the summer. It's just too much with all this stuff that was happening. Here's what my lovely story is. It started in May, but really I was thinking it probably started a little bit before that. I ended up having something called Chiari Malformation. And maybe some of you know what that is because I've been talking to people and sometimes people do know what it is. And I'm shocked that you know what it is. But what happened to me was so bizarre. I started having all of these symptoms where I thought I was like having a stroke or a heart attack.
But they came on mildly.
They did, but I didn't know what anything was. I was really sick last year a couple times because I was working with kids a lot. And so in March I got really sick around spring break time. I was coughing and I ended up getting this really bad pain above my eyebrow. It was like a lightning bolt was going off over my head when I would cough or sneeze. It was so painful. And so I was like, well, that's really weird. So I just thought I had pulled something in my neck and all of this stuff was happening. So fast forward a little bit, then it's April. I'm having like this tingling pain in my side, like around my torso, like around my bra line. I started Googling shingles. I thought I had shingles, but I had no blisters, nothing like that. So then we go a little bit longer, and it wasn't bad though. I was still working. I was still doing all the things I was supposed to do. Yeah, I wasn't going to the doctor because I hate the doctor.
Okay, PSA, go to the doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
But be mindful though that everything was very much, I feel like, coming on slowly, and you were really stressed out. There was a lot of stress going on.
Right.
And
That's
so
true too.
automatically everything is always like, oh, it's just stress, right?
Right.
We just think it's stress.
That's true. Like, yeah, it was, I was teaching part-time, so it was the end of the year, like all these things were happening. And so we get to like May, and I'm like, I really can't take this anymore. So I went to the chiropractor because I thought I had pinched something somewhere in my back or neck. And I
Totally
told
makes
her,
sense,
yeah,
right?
and
All
I
these
told her,
tingling, nerve
yeah,
pain.
I told her, I'm like, I'm kind of in pain, so don't do anything crazy. I don't normally go to the chiropractor. And the first thing she did, since I hadn't been in a really long time, was take my blood pressure. And my blood pressure was 150 something over 110. And I never have had a low blood pressure, but that was super high. And she's like, oh, you're going to sit here a couple minutes and we'll take it again and just tell me what's going on. And so I was telling her I was having this eye pain. And by this time, so this is May, I think it had kind of spread down more in my face a little bit. But when I was researching that nerve, like that nerve has like 3 branches. And so I was like, I think it's like moved a little bit. And so she just did this very, very tiny minor adjustments on me and it's like, try this, see if it helps at all, come back, whatever. Well, she goes, and you also need to probably go to a primary care and see what's going on with your blood pressure. Just start monitoring it and check it, because she took it again and it was still high, maybe 130 something over. My bottom number was definitely over 100. So I did make an appointment to go to the doctor. When I went there, it was really high. So they gave me a magnesium drip. This may have been the next day or the day after, actually. I got in really quickly because I was kind of worried about it. Some of this kind of runs together because I was running to all these doctors.
Listen, this is when I found it out. I was at the school that she was working on giving tests. It was like there were only like a week. There was like a week left of school.
4 days, actually.
Something like that, yeah. Right? I go in to see her in her classroom, and she's like, she looks like there definitely was something like your eye. It was your left eye, right? Mm-hmm. The left side. And I was like, are you okay? Like, I don't know. You just look, you were tired and in pain, right? And
yeah.
You were like, I don't know. I had high blood pressure at the chiropractor. She didn't adjust me, but you were trying to get an appointment or something like that. It was in the morning, and you were like,
that's right.
It was that morning, right?
I got in that afternoon.
I think I might try to go to the doctor. And I was like, girl, go right now. Pick up your phone. Like, the kids hadn't come in yet. So you and I were talking before the kids came in. I'm like, no, you're going today. Like, I don't care. Go to the doctor today. Yes. And because you started telling me about this nerve pain, this stuff. And I'm like, and your eye looked like a little lower. I don't know. Yeah. I was like, you're going. And so at lunchtime, I went in there and you were getting your bags packed because you're like, yeah, I'm going. I got an appointment right now. I'm like, whew, thank God. But yeah, you were still considering in the morning, like maybe next week or whatever. I'm like, no, you're going today. You get the appointment.
I really hate the doctor. Well, I did go, and my blood pressure was super high. So they gave me a magnesium drip. And I was telling them I have this pain in my side. They're like, okay, well, let's get you an appointment to come back for like a kidney ultrasound, maybe a heart something, because I think my heart rate was high too. So anyway, I did that day, did the magnesium drip. My blood pressure went down a little. So I went home the next morning. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I was tingly. My left side was tingly. So this was like my arm, my hand, and I felt like a heaviness in my thigh on my left side. This is on my left side. And I was like, oh, brother. So I woke my husband up and I'm like, I think I need to go to the ER. I think I'm having a stroke. I don't know what's happening with me. So I actually missed school that day and did go to the ER. When I got there, my blood pressure was, of course, it's high, right? Because I'm a wreck. 178 over 128 or something crazy. They did a CT. I was not having a stroke. They're like, you need to follow up with a neurologist. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Whatever. There was 4 days left of school, so I just needed to get through the school year. We had a party coming up, all the things. So I started taking a blood pressure pill that they had given me at the primary care. And it's a functional doctor, so they're not like into passing out pills. But they said, your blood pressure is really high. We'll figure out how to get this down later, but right now you just need to start taking this. So I did end up doing that. I finished the year and I was packing up my classroom. I just felt exhausted. I felt so tired. I had asked my mom to come in and help me because she had to put all this stuff up on the walls for me. So I said, will you come help me take all this stuff off the walls? I'm running out of time and I'm tired. And like, this was like Thursday. I was sitting down and I'm like, I am just out of breath. It's really weird because this is not like me. That was my last day of school. That weekend was the homeschool convention. Friday, I came home, just did a couple things around here, got ready to go to the homeschool convention in Orlando, which Kim was already at.
Yeah.
And I felt fine Friday. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go. So Saturday morning, I got up, got myself packed up, and I was kind of dragging a little. And I'm like, all right, do I go? Like, am I going to stay home because I'm tired? Like, this isn't like me. I'm not going to do this. I either need to like figure out what's wrong with me, or I just need to get on with my life. I'm not going to just sit here all day and be tired. So I'm like, I'm going. So I packed my suitcase, else, started driving over to Orlando, which it would have taken me 2 hours to get there. And we live in Clearwater, so I had to drive over the Howard Franklin Bridge, which takes you from Pinellas County to Tampa. And I'm on the bridge, which is always like, there's always a wreck. It's always terrible traffic. There's always tons of stuff. I'm on the bridge and just listened to a podcast. I'm like, woohoo, I'm going to Orlando, going to the homeschool convention. And all of a sudden, I felt this like wave of pressure like come up through my body into my left side. And it was like the left side of my neck, the left side of my arm, my shoulder, my hand, everything. And I felt like I couldn't catch my breath. I was like, and I could feel my heart beating super fast. I looked at my Apple Watch and it said like 155 beats per minute. I mean, I was just sitting there driving, and I don't have panic attacks. Like, this has never happened to me. And I was starting to see like stars in my eyes, thinking I'm gonna black out here in a second. So there's like 5 lanes of traffic. I'm like trying to get to the right side.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to get to the right
crazy.
side next to the water, try to get in the emergency lane. And I ended up having to call my husband. He couldn't calm me down. I was trying to calm down. I'm like, I just need to get over the bridge and you can come pick me up, because I couldn't like sit here on this bridge. You can't do that. It's dangerous. So this was a funny part. There's a road ranger that comes behind me. They always stop. They have the big truck and they have the arrows flashing, like, be careful, there's a car broken down here or whatever. Yeah. So he came up behind me, came to my window. He's like, are you doing okay? And I said, no, I couldn't breathe and I had to pull over. I'm calling my husband. I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and see if I can get my heart rate to come down and feel better. So he goes, okay, well, I'm going to stay here behind you. You let me know, or, wave out the window if you need me to come back over here or whatever. So I could not get my heart rate to come down. I could not start breathing. So I told my husband, I think I'm just going to have to call 911. There's no way I can drive over this bridge. I'm going to black out. So I had to call 911 on myself. I've never had to do that before. And they had to come get me off this bridge out of my car.
2 points.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, right, Kim's at the homeschool convention and you're texting me, okay, I left. I'll see you in 2 hours. And 20 minutes later, right, you're like, listen, I don't feel so good, so I'm not coming. And I'm like, wait a minute, you don't feel like, and then I don't want to bother you, right? But I ended up calling you. I think it was before the ambulance came. So you were on the side of the Howard Franklin Bridge.
I was right in the bridge.
Traffic.
And I was like, I wonder if I'm on camera somewhere, pulled over.
Yes. Yeah. All of that. But that's crazy. So I thought you were underneath, before the hump when you can go off to the side where the cops
I was
off there,
on
the
the
access
bridge.
road.
On the bridge where that skinny little emergency lane is.
Yeah, thank God there are those road rangers. But still, super duper scary. So when you called 911 on yourself,
right?
The road ranger still didn't know.
Yes. Oh, I called 911 and I just kind of sat there for a while, and he ended up coming back to my car. He's like, "How's it going?" And I said, "Well, I just called 911." And he's like, okay, all right, I will sit here until they get here. He's like, is there anything you need? Do you need water or anything? I'm like, no, I'm fine. I have water. Thank you so much. He was so sweet. So then, of course, when you call here, I don't know how it is in other places of the world, but when you call 911 here, they send the whole fleet. So there were like 5 emergency vehicles. They shut down a lane of traffic. I was like, oh my gosh, no, I was dying. I'm like, I'm totally on camera somewhere. They're announcing somewhere the bridge, like, don't go over the Howard Franklin.
I mean, it's only funny now. Right?
I know. No, it's funny.
But
Yeah.
then you were petrified and then in
Right.
fear, right? You're like,
Yeah.
maybe something really is wrong with me. I'm
Right.
over there
Oh, I thought I
praying
was
my
having,
guts
at
out.
this point, I'm like, I must be having a heart attack. I don't know what's happening to me.
So
So the
scary,
guys come
girl.
in the car. They can't, they came to the right side, initially, so they didn't get hit by traffic. And they were talking to me, trying to take my blood pressure in the car, which was, well, it was 180 over whatever it was, 120 something. They're like, oh, yeah, you have hypertension right now? No, they said, are you anxious right now? I'm like, yeah.
Like, who wouldn't be?
I just called
Hello?
911 on myself and I can't breathe and I'm on the bridge. So they're like, do you normally have panic attacks? No, I've never had a panic attack. Like, none of this ever happened. So they were trying to calm me down. They were super nice. I had a big tote, my big leather tote in the front of my car, and it's like packed full with all this stuff. My suitcase was in the back of the car. They're like, where are you going? Trying to make small talk. I'm like, I was on my way to Orlando to the homeschool convention. And one of the guys is like, oh, my wife is there right now. She's homeschooled for 12 years. And I'm like, no way. So he's like, why were you going there? And I was like, for her business. I can't go. So, anyway, so they were so nice. They helped me get all my stuff out of the car and everything. Put me in the ambulance. I'm like walking on the bridge, getting myself on a stretcher. They buckled me in. I was like, oh my gosh. Put me in the back of the ambulance. They're facing me towards traffic so I can see all the people in their cars that are looking at me. I was so embarrassed. This guy in a truck.
Have you ever been in an ambulance before?
No. No, I haven't.
So
that was a new experience.
You are such a superwoman. I'd be like, please pray for me. You're like, oh gosh.
No. So anyway, so then I'm calling my husband. I was like, okay, you're going to have to come get my car on the bridge. So he and my 16-year-old drove to the bridge and got my car. So I spent Memorial Day weekend, instead of being in Orlando at the homeschool convention, I spent it in the hospital. So my ER visits were 10 days apart. And they were kind of looking over my file and they were like, well, you need to stay for a few days. We need to do some observations and some MRIs. They ruled out a heart attack with all these tests. And so then I was there a couple days while they did MRIs of my head and then subsequently my upper back and then down to my lower back. And so if you know what Chiari is, you already know what I'm going to say. But if you don't, what they found was part of my brain, my cerebellum, is like sagging down into the hole in the bottom of my skull. And it was crowding my brain stem and all the other things that are supposed to be down in there. My brain was hanging 12 millimeters too low past where it should be. And so what was happening was it was crowding this whole area that regulates all these things, blood pressure and all this stuff, and causing numbness. So what was happening was my spine was filling up with all of the fluid that's supposed to be swirling around your spinal cord and brain. And it was like being deposited into these long, skinny balloons into my spine, which was compressing my nerves. And for whatever reason, I don't know why it's only on one side of my body, but that's why I was getting all this tingling and heaviness and my eye stuff going on. And
just on the left side.
Yeah, all on my left side. And then also, for whatever reason, the part that's around my torso is more painful on my right side. That's still been where it is this whole time.
Okay, so let me just clarify this because you said balloons, but so like she told me, and like you can visualize, right? The fluid is supposed to be moving through your spine, up and down into your brain,
around the outside.
But because your big giant brain, and I want you guys to know this has been such a joke since we started working together. I have been joking around with her about her brain just seems to be getting bigger because she's figured out all this stuff on the website. All the design, all the things, all the back end details, she's figured it out. So I'm always joking. It's like your giant brain just keeps growing. And I swear, girl, so that's what actually was happening in your head, is that your brain was too big for your skull. And so it was like a plug.
Yeah, like a cork.
Like a cork. And the fluid couldn't move.
Right. So there was a lot of pressure back there. So anyway, so that's what Chiari is. Some people do not have it to that extreme, but for whatever reason, mine was like very dramatic and whatever. So I had surgery June 13th where they had to widen my skull, widen the hole at the bottom of my skull by 3 centimeters. And they had to take out part of my top vertebra my cervical vertebra, like scoop the middle out, and also then put this like mesh thing around this area so that it would expand. My brain could expand. They just made more room for this area so
Yeah.
that it would take the pressure off and all of this fluid would start moving. So
It was
that
like
was a lot.
brain, a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Brain skull
Right.
surgery. It was like
So,
skull surgery.
right. So they told me it will take about 6 months to a year for all of this numbness and all of this stuff to go away, for the fluid to come out and disappear. Hopefully. It was hopefully. And for this numbness to go away, my nerves to start to feel better. So I've been dealing with this all summer. I'm finally just now starting to feel a little bit better. But it's been a long summer. So in the meantime,
Yeah.
like I was trying to help Kim because we were so busy, and it was just plus she had her kid, like her daughter, home from college, and there's just so much going on. So we
Whatever,
really
you were
just had
recovering. I
right,
mean, not to mention you were recovering from skull surgery. She
right.
started answering emails. I was like, "Why are you answering emails? You just had
So
brain surgery 2 days ago. Stop it."
so this was like a very profound thing. Like I said to Kim, I feel so bad because I was supposed to help you all summer with all of this stuff and whatever. And she goes, "Listen, what would we sit there and tell homeschool moms? We would say, stop it, have
Yeah.
grace with yourself, and rest. You cannot do all the
Yes.
things." And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. We would. And so this is why we're sharing this story with you.
Yeah,
We
this
are
is golden
sharing,
nugget.
yes, we
Golden
are
nugget
sharing the
number
story with
one.
you because Kim was like, girl, stop all the things and take
Yeah.
some time for you to rest.
I'm
You
like,
cannot
you're
operate
actually,
this way.
you can't operate that way. And I'm like, you're being a really bad example for what we're
I
actually telling
know,
these moms. Like,
right?
when you had this huge thing, now you need
Right,
to,
right.
have grace with
Yes,
yourself, modify your schedule. And
right,
then now I'm going to add the little nugget in there. Modify your curriculum. Okay,
right.
obviously
For
Jenny
you,
wasn't homeschooling,
right.
but we've had two moms that we've said to this summer, and one of them we've told a year ago, modify the curriculum if it's too much.
Right.
Change it.
Yes.
You are the master of your curriculum. It is not the
Yes.
master of you. So just like Jenny was having to modify her life,
Life.
and plans,
Right.
do it. And also, you employed helpers.
Yes, that was the other thing. So my mother-in-law stayed for 2 weeks. She was doing all the dishes, all the shopping, all the stuff. Like
Awesome.
she took care of all the junk that piles up. Um,
Mm.
and my mom would come over with my dad and they would clean my house and help us in that way. And I hated it. I really hate to be helped that
Mm.
way, but it was so
Needed,
humbling and
necessary.
needed. I had
Yes.
friends bringing me, they're like, I said, no, I'm fine.
Yes.
Please don't. And they're like, no, I'm bringing you lunch. What do you want? And they would, one drove from Tampa a couple times. I mean, people were just so kind to me because I said, fine, come help me. Okay. But it was such a blessing. And so we're just sharing this because it was a huge lesson for me. This has not ever happened to me before. And there's going to be people around you who can take care of you, and that's always the thing we're saying to you, to homeschool moms, is that you don't have to do everything by yourself. Get people
Mm-hmm.
to help you. One mom we just talked to recently is like, I just couldn't do part of this anymore, so my mom is over here helping. She's shuttling my
Mm-hmm.
other kids around for me. Actually, both of them said, I've had to ask my mom to
Yeah.
shuttle kids for me because we have other kids. They're doing other activities, and they both said it's been such a help and such a blessing. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't be afraid to take care of yourself. And don't be afraid to stop some things for a while when you need to, because sometimes you just need to. And
And the people that love you want to
that's
help
right.
you.
They
Like, I
want to
still feel
serve you.
bad. I could not really serve you, Jenny, other than take care of
You
all the
served me
testing and
by,
all the things.
yeah, you
But
kept our
I
business going. So,
but
yeah.
it wasn't I so anyway, yeah,
Yes.
the people want to reach out and they want to help you when they know you're going through a hard thing. So it was the golden nuggets from Jenny's little medical
My little
issue.
medical issue I had. Right. I had to
But
tell myself, I had to lie to
yeah,
myself because
I
I
like
didn't want
this.
to make it a big deal
Well,
to myself or else I would freak myself out. I
I
had to
think
just say I have to
yeah.
do it.
And you said that when I listened to the episode and I talked to you after, and I was like, I cannot believe you're calling this a little medical issue. And I think I actually didn't say that to you until after you got out of the surgery and everything was fine. And you were like, I just had to keep that mindset. Like, this is just a little thing. I'm going to go get it done and everything's going to be fun again and everything fine, right?
Right.
And so that's a rationalization, right? And it's a coping mechanism, and that's healthy, I think. So let me repeat the 3 things we're saying. Be flexible, modify your schedule and or your curriculum when you need to. Give yourself and your kids grace. Like Jenny's saying, she did find help. She felt bad about it, but she learned to give herself, the grace to be able to say, okay, help. Yes, I do need help. And you're doing better and better at it because you still need help.
I do still need help. We're moving and I have to have people do some of this for me. I cannot pick up things and pack things and do stuff.
Right. So physically, God is like, really have to rely. But you have to rely on your people to do that for you. And
right.
You do too, Homeschool Mom.
And it grows their character too.
Yes.
It grows their character too.
Yeah. And that was another thing that you got hit with in the middle of the summer is that, guess what? We have to move.
Yeah. We're moving too. But it's growing the character of the people around me.
It's going to be a really good
live with me.
The men, yes. It's going to be good too, the move.
Yes.
But the last thing we wanted to say, though, the best golden nugget is to find some battle scripture and pray these scriptures over yourself and your kids and your situation. And so Jenny's got, which one?
Proverbs 16:9 that says we can make our plans, which I had all these plans this summer. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And he definitely determined my steps for the summer. This is not at all what I had planned, but
you had like 2 vacations planned too.
Oh, everything. Lots of things. So yeah. But
summer.
He did, he grew me in a different way.
Yeah.
So that was good.
So that's a good battle scripture. And then mine recently is Psalm 30:10. I have a teen and a young adult, 17 and 21. It's so hard to be a parent of that age group. So often some scripture will pop out to me and I'll share it with them with like their names in it, but I'll just share it with you in hopes that you will say this over and over to yourself and say it with your kids' names in it and your husband, right? Hear, O Lord, and be merciful to me. O Lord, be my help.
Nice.
So I love that one.
Yes.
And that is it. That's our amazing welcome back. And we hope that you will tune in. It is our goal, but you might have to have grace with us. But it is our goal to try and do a new episode every week again. And we are going to hopefully do some little extra content for our members in our online community. And we would love to have you in there. We meet every week with all of our moms in the community. We also have a monthly 2-on-1 office hour availability where you can meet with us directly and get your questions answered. Oh, there's my timer. And we have a forum 24/7 with direct messaging, and we do have recorded classes, workshops for you, mama, and some for your kids, and some good stuff in there. So we do invite you to join that. To find out all of the info, go to the homeschoolwell.com/community.
Or just the homeschoolwell.com. All of our stuff is on there.
That's true. It's all. Just go to the homepage.
Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you soon.
And Jen, thanks for sharing your story. It was so powerful.
Yes, thanks.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.